A tier one force is a force that is ready to fight tonight, now. It's the thing that when you're having a confrontation with Russia that's looking much more difficult and may lapse into actual fighting, that force at short notice is there ready to go with people who are trained and in enough quantity, with ammunition and stocks and spares and medical support, so that they are a ready military force, ready to fight. A tier two force is the one that will take months, in our case currently years, to get ready to fight, whilst the tier one forces are holding the line. And the UK, to be useful in NATO, has to be a tier one force, or we won't play a useful part and NATO will increasingly ignore us anyway. Based on what we know about the actual readiness of the army, the number of people who have received training at battle group and brigade level, the readiness of our equipment, principally the main platform, so Challenger, currently Warrior, AS90, and stablemates, the amount of ammunition on the shelf, the number of spares and main assemblies that you can call in a crisis. You add all of that together, the British Army will struggle to qualify as tier two today. It needs at least 5 and probably 10 years to get fit for purpose again. Reversing the policy decision the government made in the integrated review of 2021, which was, as a matter of policy, to make the army a bit smaller and to delay recapitalizing, which means buying it new modern equipment until the end of this decade and into the next decade. And the Challenger 3 program is an example of that. So what we're talking about now is give the army the money to move faster, to get ready for the job it's going to be asked to do as part of the new NATO force model. And that sum of money is about £3 billion a year extra for the army starting now. We should recognize the habit that we've fallen into since the end of the Cold War in 1990. And that habit is called graduated readiness, where a part of the army, typically a brigade or 2 brigades, is brought to readiness at one time. And everything else is in a cycle of training support or frankly, crappy jobs. And an army that's fit for a general war, for great power confrontation, needs to adopt general readiness, where, if necessary, nearly all the army can be made ready very quickly. And when you think about that, you have to stop thinking about just the regular army, because the only way affordably and sensibly you can get a big army that endures is by having a healthy reserve, and lost by civilians who have to come into uniform to make the army big enough and to endure in the war you're fighting. We need to relearn those lessons, which were frankly intuitive and well known during most of the Cold War.